Is the president taking crime in big cities more seriously now that a Democratic member of Congress, Mary Gay Scanlon, has been carjacked at gunpoint?
Well, let me first say that we're relieved that she was not injured, and the president called her and spoke with her this morning as well. It is absolutely unacceptable for any American, whether they're a member of Congress or not, to be victimized by crime like that. We have been stepping up federal law enforcement efforts for some time now, obviously prior to this carjacking. And we're giving communities historic levels of funding through the rescue plan to fight crime, make neighborhoods safer by supporting programs to interrupt violence, hiring additional law enforcement officers, and providing them with the resources and tools they've asked for. We're also helping communities through initiatives like the COPS program, which is putting 1,000 more cops on the beat. And the president's proposal in his budget is to add almost $300 billion in funding for these programs, more than it was even under the last president.
And so just, if I may, final one, if the president is giving big cities historic levels of funding and members of Congress are going home and getting carjacked at gunpoint, then what else can the president do, or what else is the president going to do to keep people safe?
Well, this is a priority for the president. I want to be clear that this proposal for additional funding for the COPS program has been something the president proposed several months ago. Obviously, we'd love to get that passed in the budget next year. We'd love to continue to step up a range of the programs we've had around the country, strike forces that have been helping individual cities, working with law enforcement partnerships to help individual cities, and that's something we're going to continue to do. The president has never supported defunding the police. He's always been an advocate for adequate funding and ensuring that police departments and community policing programs have exactly what they need. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to follow up on Alex's question on the filibuster, and I'm curious how the White House is going to deal with the slippery slope issue. We obviously already sidestepped the filibuster for the debt ceiling. What is the president going to say to Democrats who say if voting rights is important enough for a filibuster exception, why not gun violence? Why not climate change or immigration?
Well, he's happy to have that conversation with Democrats, and certainly we expect that to be a part of the conversations that will be had in the year ahead. The president was asked about voting rights specifically and the filibuster specifically. He said, I would just reiterate that he doesn't think we'll have to go that far, but he was very crystal clear in his answer that he supports making the exception of voting rights for the filibuster, as was the question. I think the key piece we know at this point in time, which you know, is there aren't enough votes to change the Senate rules at this point in time. There are different ranges of options they're discussing in terms of rule changes, and we'll see where that ends up in January.
So is the president open to also having a filibuster exception for those other Democratic priorities?
I'll let the president speak for himself. He was asked a specific question. I think he answered it pretty clearly.
Okay, and one other topic, the president said that he is meeting with his team to discuss potentially lifting the travel ban on those southern African countries. Is there any update about that?
I don't have an update at this moment. I would just reiterate for you that this was never intended to be permanent. It was intended to be temporary, and lifting it is certainly our intention.